Chosen one, listen closely. This is not just another message, it's a divine appointment. The moment you're hearing these words is not coincidence. It's confirmation. Heaven has whispered your name, and what you are about to receive carries the weight of divine timing. You have walked through seasons where it seemed as if your prayers fell into silence, where tables were prepared for others, but your name never seemed to be called. But the Spirit of God says today, your season of waiting was not wasted. It was preparation for overflow. You are standing on sacred ground, a threshold moment where everything that was withheld is about to be released. The very doors that once shut before you will now open of their own accord. The same hands that once rejected you will witness your elevation, because this time it won't be man who opens the door. It will be God Himself who sets the table before you. The overflow is not random. It's not sudden luck. It's the unfolding of a prophecy written long before you even faced the storm. And this message, this word, is heaven's reminder that you're stepping into a table already prepared. Yes, you heard that right. God has already prepared the table. While you were weeping, He was arranging. While you were fighting unseen battles, He was setting your seat. And now the sound of abundance is drawing near. But before you taste the overflow, you must understand why you were chosen, what this table represents, and how to walk into it with grace and discernment. Stay with this message until the end, for what is being revealed will not only speak to your present moment, it will realign your destiny. Because the truth is simple yet profound. The wait was never denial, it was divine design. And now, chosen one, heaven is declaring you're stepping into overflow. What you sense in this moment is not imagination, it's visitation. The air around you feels different because heaven is near. There are moments when God doesn't just send a word, He steps into the word Himself. This is one of those moments. He says, I have seen your endurance in silence. I have watched you honor me even when the wilderness felt endless. I have recorded every tear you refused to let others see. And now I am releasing the harvest attached to your hidden obedience. For many, the table is a symbol of invitation, but for you, it is a symbol of vindication. You were left out of rooms you deserved to sit in, overlooked by voices that once called you friend. But what they didn't know was that your seat was never meant at their table. Your place was being carved in the presence of the Almighty, where no envy could reach, no betrayal could follow, and no counterfeit could sit beside you. There is a divine order in this. Every rejection refined your discernment. Every delay sharpened your humility. Every heartbreak re-anchored your trust in the one who never left. God is saying, I prepared it myself. Not angels, not men. I, the Lord, set it in motion. I aligned the timing, shaped the setting, and chose the company that would witness your elevation. When He prepares the table, it's not for show, it's for revelation. You will not only eat, you will understand. You will not only receive, you will remember that the same God who saw you in lack is the one who orchestrated your overflow. This is why He could not allow you to rush. This is why doors seemed locked when you were ready to walk through. He was not denying you. He was designing something you could not yet perceive. Because if you had entered too early, the table would have been set by human hands. But now it bears the fingerprints of heaven. And when God sets the table, even your enemies become part of the audience. Not to humiliate them, but to reveal His justice. The very eyes that watched your struggle will witness your restoration. The very mouths that spoke against you will have no choice but to say, surely the hand of the Lord has done this. So breathe. The preparation is complete. The fragrance of favor has filled the room. The invitation has already been issued in the Spirit. What you're sensing now, that stirring of faith, that quiet trembling of your heart, it's not anxiety. It's recognition. Your spirit knows the season of overflow has begun. The Spirit of the Lord is speaking now, clear, steady, undeniable. You have crossed the invisible line between preparation and manifestation. What once seemed far away has quietly arrived. It did not come with thunder or loud applause. It came like dawn breaking through a long night, steady and unstoppable. The prophecy over your life is being fulfilled. You are entering the realm called overflow. Not simply abundance of things, but the abundance of purpose, peace, and presence. This is what God has been building behind the curtain. While others saw silence, heaven saw construction. Every unanswered prayer was a blueprint. Every delay was an instruction. Every not yet was the sound of God hammering favor into form. The prophecy was never about material gain alone. It was about becoming. You have been transformed from the inside out, made into a vessel that can carry more than you could have before. Because overflow is not just about receiving more, it's about being ready for more. Now listen to this word carefully. The table I have prepared says the Lord is not merely a place of blessing, it is a place of revelation. At this table you will understand why I closed certain doors, why I removed certain people, why I delayed certain opportunities. You will see that my withholding was not rejection, it was redirection. You were not forgotten, you were hidden until the appointed time. You were not behind, you were being aligned. The prophecy speaks of a reversal. What was empty will be filled. What was broken will be rebuilt. What was barren will burst into life. The first wave of overflow will not come as money or fame. It will come as peace, the deep, steady peace that tells you the battle is over. Then will come favor, doors opening that no one can explain. Then will come fruitfulness, the works of your hands, blessed beyond your natural ability. Do not be surprised when sudden acceleration begins. It may start small, a message, a connection, an unexpected opportunity, but it will carry the fragrance of divine orchestration. Everything you touch in obedience will multiply. And in this overflow there will be witnesses. People who once pitied you will now ask how you endured. Some will come back not in pride but in curiosity to learn how you survived what was meant to destroy you. Do not gloat. Do not boast. Simply smile and say, "The Lord prepared the table." For this is what overflow truly means, not just to receive but to represent the glory of the One who never failed you. There is a fragrance on your life now, the scent of completion. What began in tears will end in testimony. The very areas where you were mocked will become memorials of God's faithfulness. The Spirit says, "I am restoring what was taken, multiplying what was left, and redeeming what was lost." You will not strive for this overflow, will find you where you stand. You will not chase. You will attract because my favor rests upon you. The prophecy is unfolding even now. Somewhere in the unseen, a seat with your name on it has been set. And as you continue to walk in faith, you will hear heaven whisper again, "Come, it's ready." When God prepares a table, it's never just about food wealth or outward success. It's a spiritual metaphor, a divine mirror revealing how heaven operates within the hidden chambers of your life. Every table he sets has meaning. Every cup he fills has purpose. Every seat he reserves carries destiny. This season of overflow is not the result of chance. It's the visible expression of invisible faith. You have walked through deserts so your soul could learn the rhythm of trust. You have endured silence so your ears could be trained to recognize the whisper of the Spirit. You have been emptied so you could be filled not with what the world gives, but with what heaven imparts. God works in patterns, and every pattern carries revelation. There are 4 divine patterns unfolding in this prophecy, and each one has been preparing you for overflow. 1. The pattern of the doors represent opportunity, access, and timing. But spiritual doors do not open to those who demand. They open to those who discern. The doors that stayed closed were not denials, they were delays for divine alignment. The Lord did not want you to walk through doors that led to distraction. He reserved the one that led to destiny. And now the sound you hear in your spirit, that subtle shift, that inner knowing, is the creak of the door finally opening. Not because of striving, but because your spirit matured enough to hold what's behind it. 2. The pattern of the storm. Every storm you faced carried an assignment. It wasn't random chaos, it was purification. The thunder was not meant to scare you. It was meant to awaken you. God allowed the winds to blow, not to destroy your foundation, but to reveal which roots were unshakable. Remember the nights you cried and said, "Lord, I don't understand why this had to happen." Those were not wasted nights, they were nights of divine calibration. Every lightning flash illuminated something hidden within you. The storm showed you who was real, what was eternal, and what could no longer remain. The greater the storm, the greater the strength you now carry. 3. The pattern of the season. God's movements are always seasonal. There is sowing, there is waiting, and then there is reaping. You have lived through all three. When others left the field, you stayed. When the soil looked barren, you kept watering. When the harvest seemed late, you whispered faith into the ground. This new season is not something you enter, it's something that unfolds around you. You won't need to force it. Just as spring replaces winter without struggle, this overflow will replace the famine naturally. You are simply awakening into the next divine cycle. The word says, "He makes all things beautiful in its time." Your time has come into alignment. 4. The pattern of the table. And now the most sacred pattern, the table itself. The table is where intimacy happens. It is where covenant is renewed and identity is reaffirmed. At this table, you are not a servant begging for crumbs, you are a child invited to feast. This table signifies 3 things. Provision, every need met without striving. Position, seated in honor, surrounded by divine favor. Purpose, restored clarity about who you are and why you were chosen. When you sit at this table, you will realize something profound. You were never waiting on the blessing. The blessing was waiting on you to become ready for it. God's overflow is never careless, it's precise. He will not pour until the vessel is steady. He will not promote until the heart is pure. He will not release until you can reign without pride. That is why your preparation was so painful, because heaven was shaping you to hold weight without breaking. So when the overflow arrives, it will not drown you. It will empower you. When abundance flows, you will not lose yourself. You will magnify Him. When recognition comes, you will not boast. You will testify. You are not stepping into this season by accident. The Father has chosen this moment to reveal Himself through you, to show that faith, endurance, and purity still lead to victory. Do not compare your journey to another's. The rhythm of your destiny is unique. Others may have feasted early, but you will feast deeply. They may have been celebrated in a moment, but you will be established for a lifetime. The spiritual meaning is this: overflow is not the reward for your struggle. It's the revelation of who God always knew you were. Heaven did not forget you. Heaven was forming you. And now that the forming is complete, the flow begins. When heaven begins to move, it never does so in silence. Before the overflow becomes visible, it whispers through signs, small but sacred signals that tell your spirit it's happening. These are not coincidences. They are divine markers guiding you toward awareness. Some are subtle, others unmistakable. Pay attention, for the Spirit will often confirm what the heart already knows. Here are 6 signs that reveal the prophecy of overflow is already unfolding in your life. 1. Sudden stillness before the shift. Before breakthrough, there is quiet. The noise fades, conversations slow, and people who once demanded your attention drift away. This silence is not emptiness, it's sacred space. God clears the room before he reveals the miracle. When you find yourself in unexplainable stillness, don't fear it. It's the calm before manifestation. 2. Repeated divine patterns. You begin to see numbers, phrases, or symbols repeating around you, almost like echoes. The same scripture keeps appearing. The same song follows you wherever you go. These are confirmations, not coincidences. The universe is synchronizing with divine timing, and heaven is saying, "Pay attention. This is the moment I told you about." 3. Inner acceleration without explanation. You feel a shift within, an unshakable sense that something is near, even when nothing seems to have changed on the outside. It's not anxiety. It's anticipation. The spirit inside you recognizes movement before the natural eyes can see it. You wake with energy, vision, and renewed purpose because your soul senses what your eyes cannot yet witness. 4. Unusual favor in small things. Doors that were long shut begin to open slightly. Emails answered, opportunities. Appearing strangers offering help. These are not random blessings. They are previews of overflow. God often begins with small confirmations, so your faith will be strengthened for the greater release. 5. The return of what you released, things you let go of, dreams. Relationships, passions suddenly begin to circle back in new form. What once drained you now blesses you. This is divine recycling, God returning what belongs to you, but purified, elevated, and aligned with who you've become. 6. A deep peace that makes no sense. Even in uncertainty, a supernatural calm begins to anchor you. You no longer need validation or proof. You simply know. This is the peace that passes understanding. It is heaven's seal over your spirit, declaring that the prophecy has entered its fulfillment stage. Do not ignore these signs. They are heaven's language, gentle reminders that God's word never returns void. And remember, confirmation often comes right before acceleration. The more you recognize the signs, the more your faith becomes magnetized to manifestation. You may even notice your dreams intensifying, your prayers carrying new power, your intuition becoming sharper. These are not random spiritual experiences. They are signals that your atmosphere is shifting. The signs are here. The table is near. The fragrance of overflow is in the air. You are not waiting for the promise anymore. The promise is waiting for your awareness. Before overflow comes, there is always resistance. Not to stop you, but to strengthen you. The enemy cannot undo what God has decreed, but he will try to distract, delay, or discourage you right before the fulfillment. That is why the season between promise and manifestation often feels like pressure. When heaven opens the floodgates, the atmosphere shifts. The same winds that carry blessing also expose weakness. This is not punishment. It's purification. It's the final refining fire that ensures you will not lose yourself in the abundance that's coming. You may notice things suddenly shaking, relationships that no longer feel aligned. Doors closing unexpectedly, plans that seemed certain now, uncertain. Do not panic. These are not setbacks, they are spiritual adjustments. God removes what can't survive in the overflow. The challenge of this stage is discernment. You must learn to tell the difference between what is ending and what is being transformed. Not every silence means abandonment. Not every delay means denial. Some things are being refined, not rejected. There will be moments where loneliness returns, not because you are forgotten, but because elevation often requires separation. The table God prepared for you cannot be shared with everyone who walked with you in the valley. Some were meant to journey with you, not to sit beside you in fulfillment. Then there is the challenge of waiting without worry. The enemy will whisper, "What if it doesn't happen? What if you misheard?" But faith doesn't demand evidence. It creates it. Keep walking. Keep believing. The very doubt attacking you is proof that the breakthrough is near. You may even experience a strange exhaustion, spiritual fatigue that makes you want to rest before the race is finished. This is the final battle of the mind. When your breakthrough is close, the enemy attacks your focus. Protect it. Guard your peace as if it were gold. And remember this, when God brings overflow, He first tests stewardship. He will place small blessings before you and observe how you handle them. Gratitude multiplies, but complaint delays. If you can celebrate the small cup, the full table will surely come. Hidden challenges are not meant to break you. They are meant to prove you. You are being entrusted with more, and heaven must confirm that your character can carry it. So when the weight feels heavy, whisper this truth to yourself. This is not opposition. This is ordination. The pressure you feel is not the sign of failure. It's the sign of birthing. Just as the seed breaks before it blooms, you are breaking into becoming. Don't run from the stretching. Don't curse the pruning. The same hand that cuts is the hand that crowns. Soon these challenges will no longer look like obstacles, they will look like the fingerprints of preparation. Because only after the refining comes the release. Only after the test comes the testimony. Only after the shaking comes the settling. And once you pass through this final refining fire, you'll step into the next phase, the one where heaven doesn't just speak to you, but through you. Now that the season of overflow draws near, heaven is not asking you to strive only to align. The blessing has already been prepared. The only question is whether your spirit is positioned to receive it. The instructions you are about to hear are sacred. They are not about rules, but readiness. These are divine preparations, simple, practical, but profoundly spiritual. Guard your atmosphere. Overflow requires a pure atmosphere. What you allow into your environment will shape the energy of your destiny. Be careful of noise conversations filled with gossip, doubt, or fear will drain the oil that sustains your faith. Protect your peace as you would protect your breath. If it costs your peace, it's too expensive. This is not isolation, it's insulation. You are not withdrawing out of pride, you are preserving your focus. The oil you carry cannot mix with every crowd. When God elevates, He separates. So if you sense certain connections fading, don't chase them. Let them drift. God is curating your circle to match your calling. 2. Maintain a spirit of gratitude. Gratitude is heaven's magnet. The more you thank Him for the small, the more He entrusts you with the great. Each morning before you check your phone or speak a word, whisper, "Thank you, Lord, for preparing my table." Let it become the first sound of your day. Gratitude shifts your frequency. It opens portals of favor, invisible to the unthankful. Even in delay, give thanks. Even when nothing changes, praise Him as if it already has. For in doing so, you prove that your faith is not conditional, it's covenantal. 3. Walk in radical obedience. Overflow is not earned through effort. It is accessed through obedience. When the Spirit nudges you, give, forgive, release. Step out, do not hesitate. Every instruction carries hidden multiplication. God will often test your faith with small acts that look insignificant. A message you're told to send, a prayer. You're prompted to say, a seed you're moved to sow. These moments are doors. If you ignore them, you delay the flow. But if you respond in faith, the gates of provision swing wide. Remember, obedience is the language of trust, and trust is the key that unlocks overflow. 4. Keep your heart free of bitterness. Before God fills your cup, He must ensure it's clean. Resentment, jealousy, or comparison contaminate the vessel. Release them quickly. Forgiveness doesn't excuse what was done. It frees you from what was attached. Let go of every name that wounded you, every disappointment that lingers. Speak their name and bless them not for their sake, but for yours. God cannot pour new wine into old wineskins. Empty yourself of offense so He can fill you with grace. 5. Speak life daily. Your words are seeds. Speak them as if heaven is listening, because it is. Declare the promise aloud. My table is prepared. My season is shifting. My overflow is near. When you speak, you synchronize with the divine decree. The atmosphere responds to faith-filled language. Every word you release carries vibration, and vibration creates reality. So prophecy over your days, don't just live them. 6. Rest in the timing of God. Overflow does not come through anxiety. The river of blessing flows where peace abides. You don't have to chase what's meant for you, it will locate you, when you are still enough to receive it. In the natural, rivers run downhill. In the spirit, blessings flow toward rest. The calmer you are, the clearer you hear. The clearer you hear, the faster you move in rhythm with heaven. So breathe. Trust that what's written for you cannot be erased by delay, detour, or deception. 7. Keep your vision before you write it down. Speak it often. Pray it through. God doesn't bless vague desires. He breathes on clear faith. When you define your focus, heaven defines your flow. Your vision is not fantasy, it's prophecy in progress. Treat it like a covenant. Tend to it daily with faith, action, and expectation. These are your divine instructions. They are not heavy burdens, they are gentle alignments. Every act of obedience polishes your crown. Every moment of gratitude expands your territory. Every step of faith plants you deeper in purpose. Do these things not out of fear, but out of love, for the one who prepared the table is already watching you approach. And as you walk in these instructions, the next stage begins, the one where you will feel the protection of heaven surround you like a cloak. You have walked through fire, and still your spirit stands. That alone is proof that you were never unprotected. You were preserved. Every unseen battle, every silent night, every moment where you thought you were abandoned, God was there. He did not always shield you from the storm, but He shielded you through it. And that distinction matters, because His protection was never meant to make you comfortable. It was meant to make you unbreakable. The same hand that led you through the valley will now cover you at the table. The oil that was poured in secret will become your public defense. Heaven has surrounded you not just with angels, but with divine strategies you cannot see. You will find that the atmosphere around you feels different now. The old fears no longer fit. The anxiety that once ruled your nights will begin to dissolve. This is not denial. It's divine protection manifesting as peace. God says, "Fear not, for I have gone before you. I have prepared the path, secured the table, and assigned watchmen to guard your borders. You will not stumble in the same places again, for the lessons you've learned have become your armor. When you walk into rooms, discernment will go before you like light. Conversations that once drained you will suddenly reveal their true intent. People who carry wrong motives will feel uncomfortable in your presence, not because you judge them, but because the spirit within you exposes what is hidden. This too is protection. Not every closed door is rejection. Sometimes it's divine shielding. Not every friendship that fades is betrayal. Sometimes it's heaven saying, "They cannot go where you are going." Your protection will come in 3 forms. Angelic covering, unseen warriors stationed around you. You won't always feel them, but you will see the evidence of their work accidents, avoided plans, redirected danger, delayed. Divine discernment, sudden knowing in your spirit. When something isn't right, you'll feel it before it unfolds. That's not paranoia. That's heaven whispering, "Turn here instead." Supernatural peace, the invisible shield of serenity that keeps your heart steady when chaos surrounds you. Others will panic, but you will rest. Others will doubt, but you will trust. The word says, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." Notice it doesn't say no weapon will form. It says it won't prosper. The attack may appear, but the outcome is already defeated. Even now, heaven is positioning people, resources, and timing around your life like sentinels. You are covered from above, guarded from within, and protected all around. So rest. You don't need to prove yourself anymore. You don't need to fight for visibility or force your destiny. You only need to walk with confidence, knowing that divine protection is not an event, it's a covenant. And when you finally sit at the table, you'll realize the reason the storm didn't break you is because God's hand was over you all along. There will come a day not far from now when you will wake up and realize that the waiting is over. The air will feel lighter, your spirit freer, your heart calm but expectant. You won't be able to explain it, but you will know the shift has happened. This is the moment of divine fulfillment. The evidence that all those unseen seeds of obedience, endurance, and faith have finally broken through the soil. The overflow will not enter with chaos, but with clarity. You will look around and see that everything fits: timing, people, opportunities, provision, all aligning with precision only God could orchestrate. The transformation begins inward before it manifests outward. You will notice that your desires have changed. The things that once pulled at your attention no longer hold power. You'll crave peace more than praise, alignment more than applause. The world around you may look familiar, but your spirit will no longer fit inside the limitations of your old identity. This is because God never blesses the version of you that was wounded. He blesses the version that has been healed. Your overflow will match your maturity. Your blessings will mirror your growth. When the table finally appears in full sight, it won't just be about receiving. It will be about remembering. Every trial will suddenly make sense. You'll see that nothing was wasted. The nights of tears watered the roots of your destiny. The rejection redirected you toward the right doors. The waiting refined your worship until it became pure fire. And as you sit at that table, physically or spiritually, you will realize the most powerful truth of all: the table was never about the feast, but about the fellowship. God wanted to sit with you there. The abundance was simply the backdrop for intimacy. In this moment of fulfillment, heaven's rhythm will overtake your days. Everything will seem to flow effortlessly. You will move in grace, not grind. What once required striving will now respond to your stillness. People will look at you and ask, "How did this happen so suddenly?" But you will know it was not sudden. It was sacred timing. There will also be transformation in your influence. Where once your voice was overlooked, now it will carry weight. Where once your ideas were dismissed, now they will open doors. The favor that follows overflow will make you a carrier of divine impact. You will become the blessing you once prayed for. You will notice this too: peace will no longer be fragile, it will be your foundation. Joy will not be occasional, it will become your atmosphere. And gratitude will flow effortlessly because your heart will be anchored in awe. This is what fulfillment looks like. It's not loud, it's luminous. It doesn't shout, it shines. It's not about proving anything. It's about living from proof that God keeps His promises. The transformation is complete when you no longer see yourself as the one waiting for the table, but as the one invited to it by grace. And once you're seated, you'll realize the feast wasn't the reward. The fellowship was. The abundance was never the goal. The alignment was. Everything that was stripped, delayed, and denied now makes perfect sense in the light of divine order. This is the fulfillment of the prophecy. You are walking in overflow not because of what you've gained, but because of who you've become. Take a deep breath. You've reached the end of the message, but not the end of the journey. What has been spoken over you is not just inspiration, it is impartation. The word has entered your spirit, and now it will begin to unfold in your reality. Heaven has already moved. The table is prepared. The invitation has been written in your name, and no hand can erase it. You are not standing on uncertain ground. You are standing in divine alignment. This is the moment to seal it with faith, with confession, with peace. Repeat these words aloud slowly as declarations over your life. Affirmation 1. I am walking into divine overflow. What was withheld is now being released in perfect timing. Affirmation 2. I am covered, protected, and guided by the hand of God. No weapon formed against me will prosper. Affirmation 3. My table is prepared before me. I receive with gratitude, wisdom, and humility. Affirmation 4. I am not striving, I am flowing. I move in grace, not in fear. Affirmation 5. Everything meant for my harm is turning for my good. My story is redemption in motion. Let those words sink deep into your heart. Say them daily. Whisper them when you wake and before you sleep. You are not trying to convince yourself, you are agreeing with heaven. Now receive this final blessing. May the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, guard your heart and mind. May your steps be ordered by divine wisdom and covered by divine favor. May every closed door that was never meant for you remain sealed, and every ordained door swing open without resistance. May your name be spoken in rooms you've never entered. May the right people be drawn to your light. May provision chase you, protection surround you, and purpose define you. May your cup overflow with joy that cannot be shaken, and may your spirit rest knowing that you are exactly where heaven intends you to be. Walk boldly into this new chapter. The wilderness is behind you. The feast is before you. The overflow is now. The table has been set, and the one who prepared it is smiling because you made it. Go in peace, go in faith, and go in fullness. For this is your season of overflow.